Howdy, folks. This is Alan for today's news. I will be reading and speaking about world news, interesting news, news to keep you entertained, and news to keep you informed. Let me turn my girl lights off here. First one I got for you: Ford recalls 1.5 million vehicles to fix brake hoses and wipers. Arms is out of Detroit. It says here Ford recalling more than 1.5 million vehicles in the U.S. and to actions to fix leaky brake hoses and windshield wiper arms that can break. The largest of two recalls covers nearly 1.3 million 2013 through 2018 Ford Fusion and Lincoln MKX midsize cars. The company says in documents posted Friday on by safety regulations that the front brake hoses can rupture and leak brake fluid. That would increase brake pedal travel to make stopping distance longer. Dealers will replace the hoses. Ford will mail owner notification letters starting April 17. They'll get a second letter once parts are available for the fix. Owners who are experiencing problems should call their dealer. Ford says there are some parts already available for repairs. The company says only about 2% of the vehicles will have brake hose leaks. Ford says it's aware of one crash with no mention of injuries due to the problem. The second recall covers more than 222,000 F-150 pickups from 2021. The windshield wiper arm can break. Dealers can replace the arms if needed. Owners will be notified starting March 27th. Second thing I got for you here is from Politico. It says here, hunting rifles. Really? China ships assault weapons and body armor to Russia. Chinese companies, including one connected to the government in Beijing, have sent Russian entities 1,000 assault rifles and other equipment that could be used for military purposes, including drone parts and body armor, according to trade and custom data obtained by Politico. The shipments took place between June and December 2022, according to the data provided by the Import Genius, a customs data aggregator. China North Industry Group Corporation Limited, one of the country's largest state-owned defense contractors, sent the rifles in June 2022 to a Russian company called Kekrim, I guess, that also does business with the Russian state and military. The CQA rifle model off of M16, but tagged as civilian hunting rifles. The data have been reported to be in use by paramilitary police in China and by armed forces from the Philippines to South Sudan and Paraguay. Russian entities also received 12 shipments of drone parts by Chinese companies and over 12 tons of Chinese body armor routed via Turkey in late 2022, according to the data. And you can read the rest of this in my description box if you like. This is from the Telegraph. Putin's war is headed for a terrifying escalation. Poland and Slovakia are arming Kyiv with fighter jets. Russian planes are forcing American drones out of the skies. Chinese president is visiting Moscow in a show of support for Putin, while Chinese companies are shipping assault weapons and body armor to Moscow's troops. Putin's war in Ukraine is headed into dangerous waters, and the potential for escalation with the West is higher now than at any point since the initial invasion. While NATO has remained committed to avoiding direct confrontation with Russian forces, its support for Ukraine is what has enabled Kyiv to hold out. As Putin becomes increasingly desperate, the potential for threats and actions in an attempt to force the West into backing down and growing any mystification in such an environment could lead to catastrophic consequences. I've been saying, this is going to be a war. It just takes time right here, but there will be a war. All the elements for an accidental escalation are there. First, Russia is facing losses on the ground. The Ukraine army forces are grinding down Russian troops and Wagner convicts in and around Bakhmut. Armed with Western weapons and training, they are inflicting daily casualties. You can read the rest of this in my description box. Next one doesn't say who this. This is from KMOV Channel 4 out of St. Louis. It said International Criminal Court issues arrest warrant for Putin over Ukraine war crimes. Now, you think Putin is going to let anybody take him for war crimes? No, this is going to be a war. Trust me. This is how the heck. The International Criminal Court said Friday it has issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Putin for war crimes because of the alleged environment of abduction of children from Ukraine. Now, what I don't understand, why do they want to do war crimes on him for taking kids away when he's killing them anyway? And over in Ukraine, they should get them for killing the children. The court said in a statement that Putin is allegedly responsible for the war crimes of unlawful deportation of population, which is children, and that an unlawful transfer of population from occupied area from Ukraine to Russia Federation. It also issued a warrant Friday for the arrest of Maria, I can't say the last name, the Commissioner for Children's Rights and the Office of the President of the Russian Federation on similar allegations. The court president said in a video statement that while the ICC judges have issued the warrants, it will be up to the international community to enforce them. The court has no police force and its own to enforce warrants. The ICC is doing its part of work as a court of law. The judges issue arrest warrants. The execution depends on international cooperation. A possible trial of any Russians in the ICC remain a long way off, as Moscow does recognize the court's jurisdiction. A position reaffirmed earlier this week by a Kremlin spokesman and does not extradite its nationals. Ukraine is also not a member of the court, but it has granted the ICC jurisdiction over its territorial and ICC prosecution. The ICC said that its pretrial chamber found there were reasonable grounds to believe that each suspect bears responsibility for the war crime of unlawful deportation of population and that of unlawful transfer of population from occupied areas of Ukraine to the Russian Federation and prejudice of Ukraine children. The court statement said that there are responsible grounds to believe that Mr. Putin bears individual criminal responsibility for the children abduction for having committed the acts directly, jointly with others and through others. And you can read the rest of this. There's not much more to read there. Anyway, they want to get him for transporting children, but not for killing children. Let's listen to this here.
At an industrial plant inside Bakhmut. They are making very gradual advances, but at huge cost. This soldier says Ukrainian forces have vast amounts of ammunition and are heavily to take Bakhmut for 2 months and may now be running short of fighters. Its boss, Yevgeny Prigozhin, has lashed out at the Russian Defense Ministry for starving his men of ammunition.
We
need the military to shield the approaches. If they manage to do so, everything will be okay. If not, then Wagner will be encircled together with the Ukrainians inside Bakhmut.
In his latest social media post, Prigozhin praised honest Russian soldiers but claimed, quote, unprofessional scoundrels and intriguers crushed these modest guys and began to push them around and humiliate them. Yet another jibe at the military hierarchy in Moscow. Prigozhin has accused the Defense Ministry of incompetence and corruption and compared his own almost continuous presence in Bakhmut.
And the link will be in my description if you want to hear the rest of that. What I got next for you here from Fox News. Poland residents warns criminals will turn to home break-ins as businesses flee city. Yeah, there's a lot of businesses trying to leave Portland because of all the crime. Let's hear what this says.
Portland alone. Some of them include felony theft and burglary, possession of a stolen vehicle, gun charges, and reckless driving. Portland residents Damian Bunting and Angela Todd join us now. Thank you to both of you for getting up with us early this morning. But Angela, I do want to start with you first. I just want your reaction to this news.
I want to say that it's just, I'm so surprised, and it's the only problem here. I wish it was. You know, we're paying these public defenders slowly, and we're paying them badly, and they don't want to work for the state. The state controls this, and they're using this as an excuse because there's so many problems in our justice system. Our vicious, continuous catch and release program, for example, is horrendous. We arrest people, we release them. They have a warrant, they fail to appear, and it just keeps going and going and going. I could literally give you a list of 100 examples I've personally looked up like that. It's disgusting.
Well, Damian, you highlighted the homeless crisis that we have talked to both of you about. It's been plaguing your city. Let's take a look at this.
The neighbor here is facilitating a group of homeless people to live on our block. All of these children walking up and down this road, I'm the only person, me and my man over here, we're the only people that are speaking up about this and saying something about it. I am compassionate. I do care. I do want everyone to be in a safe situation. I do want everyone to be in a place where they have a roof over their head.
And you can listen to the rest of this in the link in my description box. Portland residents are sounding the alarm on the city's crime crisis after more than 300 criminal cases in the area were dismissed, including some related to felony theft, possession of a stolen vehicle, gun charges, and more. I know the governor of Missouri is trying to get rid of the this one attorney in St. Louis because they keep letting this one let this one guy out on bond, and he keeps breaking his bond, and he injured this athlete from Kentucky. As Oregon faces a public defender shortage, residents say they wish they were surprised by the news. They were surprised by the news by active district attorney and a flawed justice system have accumulated into a far more significant dilemma over time. We're paying these public defenders slowly, and we're paying them badly, and they don't want to work for the state. The state controls this. So you're going to read the rest of this in my description box if you like. Here's the rest of the video. And my next one here from Fox News. Never return. El Salvador locks up gangbangers in new mega prison with promise of no release. Let's listen to this there. they're not saying anything about it, and they're just showing this thing here with some sound. Anyway, they're collecting these gangbangers, and they're putting in permanent mega prison where they'll live the rest of their life. That the government has swept roughly 65,000 suspected gun members since approving Salvadorian president emergency powers in March 2022, which also allows it to approve and build the mega prison. The country terrorism confinement center has a 40,000 person capacity and has already taken in over 4,000 prisoners. As the government continues to crack down on extensive gang problem, it is already at 10% of its max capacity in just 1 month after opening. And they should have that in all countries, including the U.S. You know, but some of the gang members are in the police stations too, working there. So we got to do something about that. Here's something from BBC. Gangs sow terror in Brazil cities for third night. Several cities in northeast Brazil are suffering from serious unrest caused by criminal gangs. For the third night, gang members set buses ablaze and carry out gun attacks on buildings in urban areas in Rio Grande do Norte state. The attacks are thought to have been sparked by conditions in jails holding gang members. Okay, let's hear what this says here.
A violent gang now face over 250 charges. Grand jury indicting the group last month. Investigators say they are part of a criminal street gang that is responsible for 18 shootings, including homicides in Commerce City and Denver, and targeted members of rival gangs. Indictments follow a multi-year investigation by the Regional Anti-Violence Enforcement Network.
Developing tonight.
They look like young kids. They don't even look like gang members. Anyway, you can read the rest of this in my description box if you like, and that's all I got for you today. And I hope everybody had a nice St. Patrick's Day. And don't forget to like, subscribe, at least come back once in a while. And thanks for watching. Later.